The Twits. This is a new Netflix animated movie that I really was interested in, and I just kept forgetting to watch because I've heard about this book by Roald Dahl, and this is not one of the major classic ones. This is one that's kind of well known, but kind of not. I've never really read it, but this is one I've always been fascinated about because I forget where I heard this, but essentially, when DreamWorks and Aardman had a deal, they were going to make a stop motion movie with Aardman, and then that fell apart. So then DreamWorks had more of the rights to that. So then that movie kind of evolved through production hell and kind of became The Croods, which is not really anything to do with the book, but kind of. And then you went on, and then just kind of went through this production hell kind of thing where you got this movie that multiple studios kept trying to adapt into an animated movie, and now Netflix has a deal with Roald Dahl's estate to have content based on all of his books, and they did the Matilda musical, which I did not watch, which I guess I probably should have, but fuck it, I didn't. And now we have this animated movie. So I was always curious about this. This is the first in a series of a new line of animated movies that they're doing with them. So we'll see how that turns out. But as for this first one, it was just kind of there. I think that without any knowledge of the books, the book that this is based on, there won't be any comparisons to that. So just know that. This movie is very mediocre because I kept watching this movie and I kept thinking of people who could handle something like this better. Like, what if some of the writers of Gravity Falls had this? Or what if some of the writers of The Owl House? Or some other, like, modern animated cartoon or show had this? Because this is a movie where it's centered around these two characters, the Twits, which is kind of a play on the word nitwit, because that's what they are. They're just evil motherfuckers. They just are. Like, they're evil. And they're just kind of goofy characters. But, like, for this to work, they need to be, like, really funny or really dastardly evil, and you just really enjoy their presence. And it got close at several points to that. There were a couple line deliveries or whatever. But it just, most of the time I was just thinking, missing something here, missing something writing-wise here, missing some of the charm that it needed to have to make this work. In fact, I almost believe if another writer had added a play at this, they would make the Twits the main characters, and they would just be the villains of the movie, and there would be no redeeming factor to it, and there would just be some dark humor in there, which is really how I would make this movie play out. But unfortunately, you're just watching this movie, and you got these very boring, generic kid characters that I don't really care about the plots with. And so I don't know. If you really love the book, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how good it is in comparison to the book, but yeah. Let's be real. While Netflix has some great animated movies, a lot of Netflix animated movies are also bad because a lot of them are just made for you to throw on in the background with your kids, and they do really well at that, and that's why they make them. And that's kind of what this movie is. It feels like a very generic, like, direct-to-video kind of bullshitty movie that doesn't really have a reason to exist because it's not interesting or well thought out. There's definitely moments where you see that it could have been. I'm assuming that there is some charm to the source material because Roald Dahl stuff, tends to be pretty good. But unfortunately, this one is not.